Hello, hello, hello. In today's episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking about wasting money on Google Ads because of your landing page. As a business leader, sometimes you find yourself in situations where you've worked with multiple agencies in the past 2 years. You've worked with agencies and they keep giving you bad results and you blame them for it. And then you try to hire another agency hoping that agency will give you better results. Is it right for you to blame them? Is it fair? Yes, you can blame them, and no, you cannot blame them. No, you cannot blame them because if those agencies are making UX and landing page recommendation to you and you refuse to implement those recommendations on those landing page because you've invested heavily in designing the website. Maybe it's a new website and you've spent a lot on that, you feel you should not be changing the website because you think the website works, then you cannot blame that agency for the bad results you're getting from Google Ads. However, you can blame the agency if the agency does not make UX and landing page recommendations, and if the agency does not have conversion rate optimization capabilities, then you can blame them. So why is it important to look at where you're sending your Google Ads traffic? Let's look at some statistics and let's look at what the fact tells us. Research by HubSpot shows that advertisers that sends Google Ads traffic to generic website landing pages or homepage often get 1 to 3% conversion rate. What this means is if you pay for 100 clicks on Google, say £10 per click, out of that 100, less than 3 of them is going to convert. Now, let's look at the good part of that research. According to HubSpot, the average conversion rate of lead generation landing page is 5.9%. You remember earlier on I said 3% if you're sending it to generic? Now, it's now saying with high-performing campaign often exceeding 10%. Strategies driving higher conversion rates include creating 40 landing pages and personalized call to action. What this research is telling us is for websites that are sending traffic to generic, you're getting 3%. That's of 100 people you get on your website, you paid Google Ads for, you get 3. And for people that have created dedicated landing pages with personalized call to action, they're getting north of 10%. And I've seen other research that shows people getting as much as 20 and 30% conversion. So why am I an authority in this space and why should you listen to what I'm saying? I've worked with global organizations. I've worked with startups. I've worked with lead generation websites. I've worked with different industries. And one thing I've seen consistently across the board on my personal experience, separate from the research that I've just read to you, is companies with dedicated landing pages get better results with Google Ads. And not just that, companies with integrated conversion optimization strategies with paid advertising get better results. So if you have a website or you have a Google Ads campaign that is wasting money because of bad landing pages, you need to book a session with me to help you audit and create an implementation roadmap and quick wins that would help you increase the conversion rate of your Google Ads. So let me talk about the lack of alignment that a lot of agencies ignore. And this is why I said sometimes your agency might be to blame, not all agencies. There's always a mismatch between Google Ads traffic and the landing page. Let me give you an example. If you have a house, say in the winter, and your boiler broke down, you just go straight into Google because everyone in the house is freezing. You type in boiler repairer near me because it's urgent. You're not looking to research. You just want someone that you can call that will come within a few hours to fix the problem. When you search that on Google and you see boiler near you in your location, you click on it and then you land on a house repair website. Don't get me wrong, the house repair company has heating, kitchen repair, window repair, lamination, ceiling, all those things. They also have boiler repair. That's one service. If you're taken to a page that has multiple options, you get confused, you get rattled. And in some instances, you're most likely to go back straight into Google and search that, okay, maybe you search for the wrong thing and you refine your search and then you land on a good page that talks about boiler repair. So that example I'm giving you shows that the first website that you clicked on that had the general information confused you. Whilst they have the information buried somewhere in the website, they sent you to the wrong place. You've clicked on it. Google has charged them for it. Google's job is not to convert. Google's job is to send the traffic. What you do with the traffic is then your problem. So what I'm trying to say here is that example kind of highlights the importance of a dedicated landing page. Another reason why a landing page is good is when Google sees that you have taken the time to tailor your Google ads to the landing page and there's a synergy, Google will reward you with higher quality score. Google would then better understand the type of customers you want, and then the algorithm, the machine learning will learn that, okay, this person has converted. This is the type of person he wants or she wants. Then they'll start sending you that type of traffic. So that's why it's really, really important that you do that. Again, if you're having problem with designing your landing pages for Google Ads to increase conversion, reach out to me, book a 30 minutes free consultation with me, and I'll be happy to help you. So now let's look at the click-through rate. Let's look at the impression. When it comes to Google Ads, there's a lot of metrics that will make you really, really happy. The metrics that sometimes your Google Ad agency reports to you. So this is what we call in-platform metrics. As a business leader, you need to pinch yourself sometimes to make sure that you're not being bamboozled by this in-platform metrics, because your dedicated landing page has a direct impact on your profit margin and your cost per acquisition. Because if you keep getting traffic that is not converting, the little amount of people that eventually convert, the cost that you pay to acquire those leads gets significantly higher. So what I'm trying to say is by improving the quality of your landing page, improving that quality would increase your conversion rates, reduce your cost per click, reduce your cost per lead, which are the important metrics that you need to understand and focus on. I mentioned earlier on if you should be blaming your agency. Yes, you should be blaming an agency that is always focusing on vanity metrics. You should not blame an agency that actually focus on commercial metric. It's your job as a business leader to inform them the metric they should focus on. You should make them aware that you're focusing on the cost per lead. You're focused on lifetime value of your customers. So what are the important elements that you need to focus on when it comes to your landing page? You as a business leader, you're not a web developer, you're not a web designer. You do not need to be an expert in this, but there's certain fundamental points that you need to pay attention to, because at the end of the day, the website is the lifeline of your business. One problem in organizations is sometimes you have an SEO team and the digital team responsible for the website. Their metric and their goal is to help the website rank in organic. And Google Ads is seen as an afterthought. So as a business leader, you need to look at your organization. Some smaller organizations do not even have a web developer. Some organization would just get a web development agency to design the website. Once the website is designed, they hand it over and then they're gone. So there's always that reluctance from business leaders to continuously change landing pages on their website because they feel it's just something that should be there. You need to change your mindset as a business leader, because if you do not have a web developer, there's certain cheaper website where you can get a freelance developer that would design a dedicated landing page for you. So the excuse that you do not have a developer in your team should not exist. You can actually hire someone from Upwork, People Per Hour, freelancers online to design those dedicated landing page. And why do you need to create a dedicated landing page? The first thing you need to understand is the Google SEO landing page that is designed for SEO has a lot of information, because that page is trying to rank for a lot of keywords. It's trying to be featured in a lot of AI search. So there's that incentive from an SEO standpoint to ram the page with a lot of information. And some of this page do two things. They educate people, they engage people, and they also try to convert. Your Google ads should do one thing, not three things. Your dedicated landing page should focus on a single call to action. Earlier on, I mentioned about the research and the statistics that shows high converting Google Ads campaign. It said some websites have up to 40 landing pages. So those 40 is not because they want to have multiple landing pages. Those 40 is because they want to have dedicated and personalized messaging for each type of customer that comes in through Google Ads. Then another thing you need to understand about dedicated landing pages, it has less distractions from the navigation on the page. It has less distraction from the footer section. So all these things need to be important to you as a business leader. Now let's look at some research to explain why you need a dedicated landing page. So research by Baynard Institute found that 15% of users abandon a website because they do not trust the website with their payment information. So 15%, that means out of 100 people, 15 people that land on a website that they do not trust, they would leave that website. And then usability testing by Nielsen Norman Group also shows that social proof reviews guide website behavior. So what this is saying is having reviews and testimonials and case studies by your past customers on those dedicated landing pages will encourage people to convert because then they trust you more. So the difference between a generic SEO landing page and a Google Ads landing page is they both, in most instances, have reviews. Don't get me wrong. But the reviews in those generic SEO pages are buried below because these pages, in most instances, are long pages. So the reviews are buried down below. And we all know from heat map and session replay that not everyone scrolls to the bottom of the page. The dedicated Google Ads landing page, because it's straight to the point, are optimized to have those reviews higher up and more visible, and that helps increase conversion as well. And then again, most instances, some SEO landing page have that incentive to try and optimize for information. Some of them don't have the incentive or the need to have a call to action high above the fold. Dedicated Google Ads landing page will have visible and consistent landing page call to actions. Another thing I want to highlight as well is dedicated landing pages are lighter. They're not heavy. So it's just think about it in real life. When something is heavy, it's slow. When something is light, it's fast. That same logic applies to websites. A dedicated landing page optimized just for Google Ads will have less elements. That means they're faster. And then you need to also make sure that they're optimized for mobile. So people that come from mobile websites on their mobile devices are able to see it. So all these things I've mentioned, also the heading of the page, the subheading, because the homepage is trying to satisfy everyone. So you have the problem of crafting a page header and subheading that caters to a lot of people. But when it comes to a dedicated landing page, you can craft those headers and subheaders to match those Google Ads campaigns. So when they land on your website, they convert better. The value proposition, the benefits, the reviews, and all these things are some things that you can easily optimize the page. It's straight to the point and people convert better. Research shows that people convert better on dedicated landing page. So now let me talk about a case study of a Google Ads landing page that I optimized. When I joined this organization, I was hired by the CEO. When I joined them, they had like 1.5% in conversion rate. At the end of the engagement, they had 7% conversion rate. I have clients that I optimized their Google Ads campaign 10 years ago. They've not done a lot of changes to how I optimize it because it was the best in class when it came to the landing page. So let me give you this quick case study. So this CEO approached me to help him on a fractional contract base. I was more like a fractional CMO/growth consultant. When I joined, I did an audit of the Google Ads. I noticed straight away that the post-click was the problem. The website was outdated. It hasn't been optimized. Compared to the competitors, the website was really, really bad. The typography, the color, everything was terrible. So I informed the CEO that, okay, we need to look at the website. Apart from actually even creating a dedicated landing page, we needed to change the look and feel of the website. This was improving the website, not redesigning the website. So I worked with the CEO to hire a freelance developer, helped him interview the developer to see. Again, we got this developer through the internet. It was someone working remotely in Europe. We found the developer. I kind of went into a tool called Figma, created the homepage, created the individual dedicated landing page, and in like a mock-up, and then gave it to the developer. Jumped on a few calls with the developer to help the developer understand what I was trying to achieve. We designed the website to even make sure that it was good for SEO, because the website was even terrible for SEO. I'm also skilled with SEO. And then I created dedicated landing pages as well. I worked with a content designer to design the content of the website. Another thing I did was also look at the CRM system to kind of make sure that the conversion that is being reported in CRM, the final sale, is also fed back into Google Ads. That is why I said it's important that the type of Google Ads agency or Google Ads expert that you work with is T-shaped skill. Because Google Ads is where the journey starts. What happens after Google Ads is equally important. 70% of that conversion happens post-click. So I looked at the CRM system, I looked at the SMS, looked at all those things to make sure they're well integrated into the Google Ads interface. Looked at the analytics, make sure server-side tracking was configured properly. All these things I did with this client to achieve 7% increase in conversion. Then I looked at the new pages, looked at the load time, make sure they were loading faster, mobile optimized, the heading, the subheading. Then I actually had conversations with the sales team, had conversations with the external partners that the organization worked with to understand that end-to-end journey of the customer, to understand what actually makes them convert, to understand why they choose my client over the others. All this information came back into the Google Ads. So what I'm trying to say is 70% of your Google Ads success is determined by the post-click journey. So if you have a dedicated Google Ads expert that only knows Google Ads, you're only getting 30% of the results you should be getting. But when you have either an agency or a consultant that has an understanding and appreciation of email marketing, of landing page optimization, of conversion rate optimization, that is when you get a full funnel Google Ad optimization. So what I'm trying to say is, as a business leader, the first thing you need to do right now is to book a session with me, to look through your Google Ads campaign, look through your landing pages, to make sure that we do a pure diagnostic to find out the quick wins, to find out the landing page that needs optimization. And one thing I need you to understand is you need to review your landing page every 6 months. You should not just think, oh, this landing page is working. There's something called ad fatigue. You need to, if you're using Facebook, if you're using all these other platforms, these platforms are evolving. Your customers are evolving. So your Google Ads campaign should not be a set it and forget it approach. You need to constantly work with someone that would continuously improve your Google Ads. And most small businesses do not really need a full-time person if you don't have a huge website. You just need someone that will look at your campaign a few days per month to make sure that it's running really, really well. What this means is you're getting someone with 16 years of experience of Google Ads and CRO and SEO working with you on a fractional basis rather than hiring an agency. Now, this is where I'm pitching my services compared to an agency. An agency would charge you for overheads, charge you for a lot of things, but they would not deliver CRO and landing page optimization and integration with email marketing with you. If they do, they'll be charging you more. So if you are running a Google Ads, what I would recommend is book a free 30-minute session with me. We'll do an audit of your Google Ads. I'll look at the landing page and I'll see how and what needs to be improved there. My name is Femi Olajiga. Again, you can book a session by clicking on the link in the show notes. And if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the channel. And if you're listening to this on podcast platform, follow us as well. In the next episode of the podcast, I'm going to be talking more about Google Ads, and my podcast is targeting business leaders. A lot of content out there are targeting practitioners, but this podcast is more tailored for business leaders, for you to have an understanding of what to do. Even if you're not implementing it, you're able to ask the right questions from the people implementing it. And that education is what really makes me happy. I've worked with clients in the past where I've educated them up to a level that they've just realized they do not need me anymore. So that's the goal of hiring a consultant. It's not for someone that you work with for years. It's someone that you work with for a few months, maximum 18 months. And then you're able to, as a business leader, save on the cost, because if you're able to do it yourself, then you do not need to pay agencies on a continuous basis. You know what to do and what to focus on. And when you do need the help, you can always contact me again on a fractional basis. So my name is Femi Olajiga. If you need help with your Google Ads, book a session with the link below. Thank you. Bye.